day I wake up is another blessing. Thankful every second, getting God's protection. I lost connection in the desert, I had no reception. But in that time alone, I probably learned 1,000 lessons. I used my time for introspection and some self-reflection, and analyzed a couple ways to conquer my depression. Everything doesn't happen the way we plan it to, but if we harvest energy, then we can plan it too. So take a look in my eyes, that's where the story...
Alright. We're back with another reaction. Final Fantasy 16 hands-on preview by IGN. We are gonna take a look at what this game is looking like. I need a PS5 for this game. I need to get a PS5 for this game.
I was waiting for you.
Let's go.
Not for too long, I hope.
I remember being awestruck as a teenager by the way Shadow of the Colossus dwarfed my protagonist with its titanic creatures. That feeling of man versus mountain generated by the PS2 classic is something I've rarely experienced since. But at a recent hands-on event for Final Fantasy 16, it happened again. I felt that awe, that sense of colossal scale. But this time, rather than being a poetically beautiful battle, it was an explosive homage to anime warfare.
Oh.
The 2-hour demo was, according to developer Square Enix, a special version made for media to experience, and contents may differ from the final version. Pulled from around 5 hours into the story, the combat-focused segment contained a trio of boss battles that showcased Final Fantasy XVI's ambitious approach to scale. The first of these, a showdown with a spy named Benedicta, was a traditional human versus human clash that embraced the dexterity of this entry's new real-time action combat. But it was the other two, much grander fights that really caught my attention. Final Fantasy XVI sees a number of kingdoms caught up in a war over magical crystals. Key to this war are icons, colossal monsters that, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, you may know better as summons. In most previous games in the series, these deity-like creatures were effectively elaborate magic attacks, but in Final Fantasy XVI, they are vital components of the plot and act as major boss battles across protagonist Clive's journey.
Are they using Final Fantasy XIV
Garuda, a 20-meter tall bird-like creature summoned by Benedicta that wields the power of wind. As I dodged and weaved around Garuda's legs and wings, deflecting blows that would kill a normal man, the battle called to mind scenes from kaiju movies and anime like Attack on Titan. After dealing enough damage to stun her, I could fire a magical grappling hook into her jaw and yank her head down to the ground, opening her face up for a chain of hugely damaging attacks. There's something inherently exciting about
oh my god, this is gonna be a Souls-like?
Final Fantasy 16 seems to be fully committed to going as big as it possibly can. That's not to say the game's strengths are only in these gigantic boss fights though. Much of the demo saw me storming through a castle while cutting down a whole garrison of swordsmen in the grittiest combat of Final Fantasy's 36-year history. Clive strikes with fury, impaling and even stomping on enemies that have fallen to the ground. That's not to say all the fantasy has been drawn out to Final Fantasy
to action combat.
Magical abilities frequently coat the screen with vibrant particle effects. It's all a bit overwhelming at first, and the arcade-like UI that constantly spits out damage numbers is an ugly contrast against the world's otherwise handsome art. But as I settled into the systems, I found the blend of action and tactical abilities rewarding.
I guess 15 is
came
really
alive
when they
in the
started.
rapidly paced battle against Benedicta, who pushed me to make use of all of my many skills.
Well, 14 kinda, right? Yeah, so
Clive is a nimble fighter, and each swing of his sword reminds you that Final Fantasy XVI's combat director is Ryoto Suzuki, best known for his work on Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma. Fights feel fast, layered, and incredibly flashy. The core fundamentals are pulled from Japanese action classics: dodges, parries, uppercuts, and combo attacks. But built atop this is a magic system that sees you channel the power of different icons to unleash powerful special attacks.
Devil May Cry then Souls-like. Look at those numbers.
I had access to the power of 3 icons: the Fiery Phoenix, the Winds of Garuda, and the earth-shattering magic of Titan. Only one icon's abilities can be channeled at a time, but a quick press of the left trigger cycles through each summon on the fly. You could fire a blast of Phoenix Flames, for instance, before quickly swapping to Garuda to launch your target into the air with a hurricane-like spin, and finally switch to Titan to finish them off with a charged power attack that strikes downwards with stone fists. Each icon ability has its own cooldown, so hot swapping between them mid-fight and managing their wait times provides a light tactical edge to each clash. I'm interested to discover what tactics will be unlocked as Clive gains the power of even more icons, and I hope they feel as distinct as the 3 I've used so far. If you're accustomed to Final Fantasy's more relaxed days of picking attacks from a menu and find all of this somewhat intimidating, you may find solace in Square's novel approach to accessibility. Rather than difficulty options, there's a collection of 5 rings that bestow combat easing effects. The Ring of Timely Evasion, for instance, will make Clive automatically dodge most incoming attacks, while the Ring of Timely Strikes will perform elaborate combos with just one tap of the attack button. There are utility-focused rings too, including one that issues commands to Clive's dog, Torgal, who can provide attack and healing assistance. With the combat already sufficiently layered, I can imagine even skilled players may also opt to skip the pet micromanagement.
Go back real quick. Perfect. Oh, did I go back too far?
Can provide attack and healing assistance.
Word, she looks like Homegirl from Final Fantasy VIII.
With the combat already sufficiently layered, I can imagine even skilled players may also opt to skip the pet micromanagement. These rings will hopefully mean fans of varying skill levels will all be able to enjoy Final Fantasy XVI's clashes, which are made all the more dramatic by the way your attacks can seamlessly blend into cinematics that showcase a particularly cool strike or evade. These moments are coupled to a button prompt, and while I'm generally averse to QTEs in combat, Square Enix seems to have made it work. The slick presentation made each of the boss battles feel like momentous fights, rather than interrupted melees. The overall sense is that Final Fantasy XVI will let us be directly involved in the outrageous anime-like battles typically reserved for cutscenes. That's never more true than in what is likely to become Final Fantasy XVI's flagship battle mode, Icon versus Icon. When Clive summons an icon, you're put in direct control of them, and each of these explosive clashes between gods are promised to be a unique experience with bespoke mechanics. The third boss of the demo, a beatdown between Garuda and the fire demon Ifrit, was something akin to a nuclear-powered wrestling match. Compared to Clive, Ifrit is a very simple fighter, with just a scant few brawling abilities. But this brawl makes full use of that blending between cutscene and gameplay to convey Ifrit's immense heft and strength. Each time I'd land a blow on Garuda, a new animation would trigger, my favourite of which was dragging my foe face first across a rocky landscape. It was a shallower combat experience compared to controlling Clive in the clashes with Benedicta and Garuda, but I can forgive that if the spectacle proves this wild each and every time.
I mean, like, it's always a great move. Why? Because it's so disrespectful, just dragging your face across the ground and throwing
compared to controlling Clive in the clashes with Benedicta and Garuda, but I can forgive that if the spectacle proves this wild each and every time. Playing 3 very different boss fights, as well as carving my way through dozens of regular soldiers, has left me with a lot of hope for Final Fantasy XVI. But this demo was purely combat focused, meaning I've yet to see much of its RPG credentials. This demo's generic medieval castle setting barely had any exploration opportunities, feeling mostly like a stone-walled route towards the next boss. But as previously mentioned, the contents of this demo may differ from the final version, and so I hope when more is revealed, we'll discover it has environments that are much more compelling to explore. Because should the story, exploration, and characters live up to what I've seen of the combat so far, then Final Fantasy XVI will be a JRPG worth being excited about.
Control it, Clive!
For more looks at upcoming games, check out our previews of Crime Boss Rock City and Kerbal Space Program 2.
Yeah. We don't need all that. We don't need all that, buddy. We do not need all of that. But yeah, it looks great. I like the way they're going with the gameplay. I mean, I haven't played a turn-based game in a while. Except for Final Fantasy VII. I usually play that once a year. But yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Oh, look, it's Tifa / Final Fantasy VIII girl. I forget her name. Yeah, can't wait. Somebody send me a PS5, please. Or money to buy one. Because I want to play this game, and it's not going to be anywhere else but PlayStation. And I don't think it's coming out on the 4. Help. Send help. Alright, y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all getting it? Well, if you have a PlayStation 5. And send me a PlayStation 5. I'd highly appreciate it. Deuces.
I'm hiding out, wilding out, cooling down, collecting thoughts till I find my route. And if they catch me, they'll be finding out what I'm about. Until then, I'm riding out. I'm hiding out, wilding out, cooling down, collecting thoughts till I find my route. And if they catch me, they'll be finding out what I'm about. Until then, I'm riding out, riding out. Check it out. I'm a desperado, I'm living it in real life. What's next to follow? I hit the bottle.